Why is it that some men effortlessly draw women in, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? What if I told you the real secret isn't about charm, money, or even looks, but something far more profound? Something the ancient Stoics understood more than 2,000 years ago. Today, we're uncovering the hidden psychology behind love, women, and how Stoic philosophy can radically transform your approach to relationships. But be warned, this isn't your standard dating advice. By the end, you may start seeing both love and yourself through an entirely different lens. Let's clear something up right away. This isn't about tricks, games, or manipulation. Stoicism has nothing to do with controlling others and everything to do with mastering yourself. And when it comes to love, that's exactly where it all begins. Think about it. How often have you felt confused, hurt, or frustrated in your relationships? Maybe you've tried it all. Romantic gestures, constant compliments, being there all the time, but nothing ever seems to change. What if the real issue isn't what you're doing, but how you're thinking? That's where Stoicism steps in. Today, we're going to explore how this time-tested philosophy can help you better understand the female psyche, connect on a deeper level, and, most importantly, become the kind of man who doesn't just attract love, but sustains it. Ready? Let's dive in. Here's a difficult truth. Most men enter relationships from a place of emotional lack. They believe, if I can just make her like me, then I'll finally feel happy. But that mindset is flawed from the start because it puts all the power outside of you. You're handing your sense of worth over to someone else, hoping they'll fill a void, make you feel valid, make you feel enough. And when that happens, you're not acting from strength, you're operating from neediness. And women pick up on that. It's not about being alpha, beta, or any other label. What truly matters is being grounded, confident, and emotionally self-reliant. That's what's genuinely attractive. But how do you become that kind of man? That's exactly what we're unpacking. 1. The dichotomy of control. Let's begin with a core Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. This concept teaches that certain things are within our control and others are not. Your thoughts, your behavior, and your reactions, those are yours to own. But other people's emotions, actions, and opinions, those are outside your domain. In relationships, this is monumental. You can't make someone like you. You can't dictate how they feel or behave, but you can choose how you show up. Are you being kind, confident, and genuine? Or are you molding yourself into someone you're not just to win approval? Take Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most revered philosophers and a Roman emperor. Despite his authority, Marcus endured deep personal pain, betrayal, and grief. But rather than trying to control the world around him, he focused on governing his own mind. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Apply that to today. Imagine being on a date, nervous about making the right impression. Instead of obsessing over how she views you, focus on staying present. Ask thoughtful questions. Listen intently. And if she doesn't react the way you hoped, that's okay. You can't control her response, but you can control how you carry yourself. And that shift alone, it's freeing. And authenticity, it's magnetic. 2. Amor fati, loving what happens. Next is amor fati, the Stoic idea of embracing whatever comes your way, good or bad. In love, that means facing rejection, heartbreak, and awkwardness head-on. Why? Because every experience is a chance to grow. Every no moves you one step closer to the right yes. But many men don't see it like that. They internalize rejection, it crushes their spirit. Consider Epictetus. Born a slave, his life was anything but easy. Yet he taught that true peace comes from embracing reality exactly as it is. He said, "Don't ask for events to happen as you wish. Wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow well." Picture this in dating. You ask someone out and they say no. Instead of seeing it as a failure, see it as redirection. Maybe they weren't meant for you. Maybe they've got their own wounds to heal. Either way, their no doesn't define your worth, it's just feedback. And once you start viewing rejection that way, it loses its grip. You stop fearing it. And that unshakable confidence, that's attractive. 3. Virtue as the highest good. Let's now talk about virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is everything. It's about living with wisdom, courage, integrity, and discipline. When it comes to relationships, that means showing up as your best self, not for someone else's approval, but because it's who you strive to be. Women aren't searching for perfection. They want a man who's growing, a man with strong values who's committed to something greater than himself. Take Cato the Younger, known for his unbending integrity. Even when pressured to abandon his principles, he stood his ground, not for praise, but because it was right. In modern dating, this means honoring your word, following through, owning your mistakes. Women notice that. They pay attention to how consistent you are, how you treat others, and whether your actions align with your values. And those traits, they're far more appealing than any looks or wealth. 4. Understanding female psychology. Now let's touch on female psychology. This isn't about stereotypes. It's about understanding what humans are naturally drawn to. Women, just like men, gravitate towards certain qualities: confidence, emotional steadiness, and a sense of purpose. And here's where Stoicism helps. It gives you the tools to cultivate these traits from within. Confidence? It's not loud bravado, it's quiet assurance. Emotional balance? It's not the absence of feelings, it's the ability to handle them well. Purpose? It's not having it all figured out, it's moving with intention. Seneca, another great Stoic, often wrote about self-awareness and emotional clarity. He believed real strength comes from knowing who you are and aligning your actions accordingly. In love, that means being honest about what you want, clear about your values, respectful in your interactions. When you operate from that inner strength, you become someone worth investing in. 5. The power of emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is something the Stoics excelled at. In love, emotions like jealousy, fear, and insecurity can rise fast. If unmanaged, they can wreck even the best connections. Stoicism teaches you not to suppress emotions, but to observe them without being ruled by them. Picture emotions as waves. You can't stop them, but you can learn to ride them. Zeno of Citium, Stoicism's founder, lost everything in a shipwreck, but he used that tragedy to reinvent himself. He didn't spiral into despair. He turned pain into purpose. In dating, this means not letting your emotions drive your behavior. Jealousy? Notice it, but don't act on it. Insecurity? Feel it, but remember your worth. When you gain that mastery, you become someone steady and grounded, something people are naturally drawn to. 6. The art of detachment. Detachment isn't about apathy. It's about not placing your happiness in someone else's hands. Too many men let their self-esteem hinge on whether someone likes them back. But Stoicism teaches you to source your value from within. Musonius Rufus, a Stoic teacher, believed that real freedom comes from inside, not from the validation of others. In dating, this means being okay with either outcome. If someone's interested, great. If not, that's fine too. Your worth stays the same. When you date from that place of emotional independence, You show up more confidently, more present, more real. 7. The role of communication. Communication is the bridge between two people, and Stoicism has a lot to say about how we speak and listen. The Stoics believed in clarity, intention, and honesty. But just as importantly, they believed in listening. Really listening without ego or defensiveness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up, prepare yourself. Today you'll meet people who are selfish, rude, arrogant." But he didn't say that to judge others. He said it to remind himself to respond with patience and understanding. In love. That means approaching conversations with empathy, saying what you mean, but with kindness, listening not to reply but to understand. That kind of communication builds real trust and deeper connection. 8. The power of shared values. Lastly, shared values. The Stoics believe that true harmony comes from alignment, not in hobbies, but in principles, things like honesty, growth, and respect. Take Cleanthes, a Stoic who lived simply, but was deeply committed to his beliefs. He taught that lasting peace comes from living in sync with your values and those of the people around you. In relationships, this means knowing your values and seeking someone who resonates with them. Not someone perfect, but someone who shares your deeper worldview. When that alignment is there, your bond becomes unshakable. Here's the truth. Love isn't about finding someone flawless. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and finding someone who sees and honors that version. When you view relationships through this Stoic lens, everything changes. You stop chasing, stop settling, and start building something real, something lasting. To wrap it all up, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's in our control, to face adversity with strength, to live by virtue, and to understand the deeper emotional truths of love. It's about resilience, detachment, open communication, and shared values. And when you live by these principles, you don't just attract love, you cultivate it. And that's real power. If this video helped you see love from a fresh perspective, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep growing together.